Welcome, CFT Nation. We're live. My name is Ray Roskis. I am a field service director with the Illinois Federation of Teachers, and I work with Cahokia. And with me, as my co-host tonight for this CFT Live, is IFT Vice President, but more importantly, the President of CFT, the Cahokia Federation of Teachers, Wendy Lockman. Wendy, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm so happy to be here.
This is exciting. Welcome everyone, like we said. So we're doing a podcast, I guess, huh?
We're doing a podcast.
This is going to be fun. Let's talk a little bit about why we're doing the podcast and what we want this podcast to be.
Sure. So I think it's going to help us share the real story of what's going on in the Cahokia Community School District.
Yeah, without a doubt. That's goal number one. And how do we do that? We want to be transparent, completely transparent. Everything we do is going to be data driven. We have a lot of documents that we're going to share and back up what we say.
We've got a lot of research too. We've spent a lot of time on this because there's a long story to tell, actually.
Right. I also want to introduce behind the scenes producer Kevin. Kevin is running the board for us, and he's going to help us tonight with our graphics and things to make this show look really produced. Like we would know what we're doing.
Right.
Yeah. So, the podcast, we're going to try to keep it between 30 and 45 minutes an episode.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to try to do one episode a week.
Yes.
And then we might have some pop-up episodes after bargaining to share information. We had bargaining tonight. So that's kind of what we're going to do. This podcast is meant to inform and support and give voice to issues affecting the Cahokia School District and the Cahokia Federation of Teachers.
Yes.
Yeah. So why don't you, since there's going to be some viewers that don't really know who the Cahokia Federation of Teachers really are. Mm-hmm. So why don't you explain a little bit about who you are, what your groups are, that kind of thing.
Okay. So the Cahokia Federation of Teachers is local 1272, and we're actually three groups. We have three separate contracts. We represent the teachers contract, which includes all certified people, nurses, social workers. We have a secretarial group, and then we also have a service employee group, which represents security, maintenance, custodial, bus monitors, a few others. We are about 400 members right now, and we're affiliated with Southwest Area Council and, of course, the Illinois Federation of Teachers.
Yeah, my employer.
Yeah.
Throughout this process, this bargaining process, you've been really advocating for some things with the district. For instance, you've been advocating for really a strong public school system in Cahokia, fair working conditions. But really what I want to focus on is student access. You've been a champion in Cahokia for arguing for student access. Why don't you talk a little bit about some of the things that you've demanded out of this superintendent and this Board of Education?
Well, I think that my whole unit is doing this too. It's not just me.
I understand, but you're the spokesperson.
And we feel like in this contract cycle, we had the opportunity to bargain for things that our students really richly deserve, the community deserves. And some of it's really basic. We need licensed professionals in all areas of our schools. So, speech teachers, we need social workers, we need math teachers, regular ed teachers, we need just about every area. And unless we start addressing underlying issues and start collaborating, that isn't going to happen. And that's not good for kids. We wanted to also do things to establish more healthy classrooms. We want our teachers to be able to miss work when we're sick, mm-hmm. so that we're not, bringing illness to our students. We also want more plan time for teachers. We've asked for libraries, more print materials in our buildings, more course offerings. We want more sporting events for our kids. Extracurricular.
Listening to all those things, I've read that document that we gave to the district probably 30 times. I've heard you read it to them 3 times in bargaining. And listening to it there, it just seems so silly that the things that you're pushing for in Cahokia, most school districts around us just take for granted.
Yeah.
It's really sad.
It is.
Well, thanks for that. Let's talk about this podcast. So this podcast, we've been working on this for probably 3 weeks, a month now, and we probably have 15 or so shows planned. This one's going to be very general, just a general overview, pretty much of what we want to do with it. We're going to get into bargaining just a tiny bit, to kind of discuss where we are. But we wanted to give the listeners kind of a preview into some of our shows, because we're really excited about the upcoming shows.
Ooh, nice graphic there, producer Kevin.
Yeah. So as I said earlier, we are CFT Live for all you CFT Nation listeners. We want to be transparent and data driven with everything we do.
Yes.
We want to be the opposite of what the school district, this Board of Education, and Superintendent McCall, how they operate.
Yes.
What kind of things are we going to cover, Wendy, in the future?
We've already talked about bargaining, but we want to, after our sessions, provide updates for our members. We know for members to all hear the same message, and we're hoping that this platform is going to let us do that. So we can have quick updates, but we can also show proposals so you can see for yourselves exactly what we're facing.
Yeah. And as I said earlier, we're probably going to go live after some of our bargaining sessions to not only give our members updates, but the general community updates. Corruption, we're going to talk about hiring practices. We're going to talk about political hires, positions created for friends and family. There is a lot of that going on and has been going on now for a while. Mm-hmm. And we're going to spend a show talking about that.
And anti-union policies is another topic that we've developed. There's quite a few of those as well. Grievances, contract violations, discipline, terminations. So we're gonna spend an episode on those.
We might even have a few special guests for the discipline piece.
Sure.
Talk to some people that have been wrongfully disciplined.
I can't wait to have guests.
Yeah, guests are going to be fun. We're going to talk about nepotism, a big one. The things that everyone's talking about, but nobody really wants to say out loud, right? What those positions are, what those salaries look like, and who the people in those positions are connected to. So we're going to spend a show talking through that.
I've spent a ton of time researching political contributions. So that's also a piece of the puzzle that probably needs its own show.
Yeah. And the information that you sent me the other day, it's going to be maybe 2 shows.
Okay.
We're going to talk about the connections between the city of Coquia Heights and the school district. As you know, the superintendent is the son of the mayor of Coquia Heights. So we're going to get into some of the connections with the city.
How common do you think that is?
Not very common at all. You tie that in with the political contributions, it's very uncommon.
We're also going to talk about the Board of Education and how they fit into all of this puzzle and their political connections.
Another good show that you and I are both going to like is contracts and consultants. Yes. We're going to talk about contracts and some of the consultants that the district has hired.
It's going to be a good show. You guys are going to want to be sure and tune into that one.
Additionally, there's going to be many other shows that we have planned, and our focus on these shows in the future are to expose conditions in the school district. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm excited.
I am too.
Okay. Moving on to our next topic. I want to talk a little bit about climate and culture.
Sure.
You've been in district now, how long, Wendy?
24 years.
24 years. How long have you been the president?
3.
3. Mm-hmm. Grievance chair prior to that?
Many years. I've been an officer about 22 years.
Okay. And I've been the rep in Cahokia for 10 years now, I guess. I started in 2015. The climate and culture has changed significantly in that time.
Yes.
Why don't you talk a little bit about, from your perspective, not only as an employee, but as a union president, how it's changed?
So there's several different pieces to this. It's not just one thing. Teacher turnover, though, is maybe one of the most problematic. We have lost maybe 70-ish certified staff in the last 2 years. We've replaced them largely with subs or retirees. So that's not the best practice, probably.
And what you see on the screen there that Kevin just put up is, Wendy, but they don't. We request information from the district from time to time, and we requested a lot of information in bargaining. That is the permanent sub list for the Cahokia School District. And there is roughly 80 names on that list. Those people come to work as permanent subs and fill teaching positions because there's that many openings. 6 pages of permanent subs right there.
And I have relationships with some of the people on that paper. They're doing the best that they can, but it's not the same. It's not the same for kids to have somebody that's trained to do this and that's been to school to do this. And our students end up being the real losers in that.
Which ties back to your document at the beginning. We talked about that you're demanding certified teachers in every classroom, which is just crazy to say out loud.
And we can sometimes get them, but we're not getting them to stay. So there's also the retention piece that if we don't talk about climate and culture, we lose that opportunity to get people to stay in Cahokia. When I began all those years ago, it was very, very abnormal for somebody not to stay their whole career in one spot. And there's still many of us like that, but we're seeing people leave for better opportunities elsewhere.
Yeah. And lots of them.
Yes. There's also a leadership style that's hard to describe to people on the outside. It is very top down, and it has been that way in Cahokia for many years. It's an area where we could work on for sure, but it's gotten a lot worse. There's not a lot of collaboration. There's not a lot of opportunity to bring stakeholders to the table to work on real solutions. We have, even in situations where we ask as the union for information, how long does it take me to get a simple,
We've had to file grievances over information requests. When in other districts, and I'm going to refer back, to my other 17 school districts that I work with from time to time throughout this, but all I have to do is send an email to other school districts and I get the information right away. In your school district, we send the information to, I say, the top 3, Superintendent McCall, Stephanie Belt, and Mitchell, Assistant Superintendent Mitchell. And typically what I get back is received.
Yep. And
then it disappears. Now it's been a little better lately with the new attorney they have.
Yes.
We have been getting some information, but very top down, very, if I say this, very dictator-like in his approach as the superintendent.
Everything kind of has to go through him. And even so, for some of those grievances, when I went before the board, because when you present a grievance, for people who don't know a lot about that process, one of the steps, if you can't resolve it at the superintendent level, you take it to the school board. I thought certainly the school board with an attorney sitting there would immediately give us the documents, very basic documents that we were requesting, that we've always been able to request, salaries, things of that sort. And no, it didn't help at all.
No.
So,
which leads us into union relations. How's that been?
It can be tough at times. I usually don't have the courtesy of a heads up if a new policy is coming out. I usually find out about it, at the last minute. There's a lot of trying to circumvent our contract or creating positions that probably ought to be in our group. Wanting to give people higher salaries and just disregard our salary schedules. So it's not been the best relationship.
Yeah. We've seen that in most recently the post that had 50,000 views on the sick leave policy.
Sick leave policy.
Do you want to talk about that just for 30 seconds? Because I know you could go on for about 10 minutes, but
I'm rather tired of talking about the sick leave policy, if the truth be told. But right now, Cahokia staff have to go to the doctor if we want to be paid for any amount of our sick leave. Doesn't matter if you've been here a long time and you've never abused your sick leave. If you go, to a doctor's appointment or you stay home for an hour or a half day or a full day, the district pays the cost, but they make you go to the doctor. You have to prove you are ill.
Yeah, it is like no other policy. So just for, and I'm going to dive into it for about 30 seconds too.
Okay.
Just for people, the statute allows them, the law allows them to ask for a note, a certification for more than 3 days or for less than 3 days. More than 3 days, it's at the employee expense. Less than 3 days, the employer pays the expense for the note, right? With 400 members, and you could take sick leave in increments, right? Hour increments. This could get very costly for the district.
Very.
You know, co-pays for specialists, and it says cost incurred. So there have been people that have gone to the emergency room that had $1,000 bill that the district had to pay. And for what?
It ended up being less than that, but after insurance paid. But should our insurance have to pay?
Well, and then on the back end, what's going to happen is insurance rates are going to go up,
right?
Because it's based on usage. And if the district is forcing you to go to the doctor, which they are, then those rates are going to go up. And then the district is going to pass that cost on to you because they're not going to want to pay for it.
And sadly, for many of the families in our unit, our healthcare is already not affordable.
Agreed. And there really isn't a sick leave abuse problem in Cahokia. I mean, we did it.
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah,
it's really not.
we did a long post about the sick leave, and just to give numbers. Again, information we requested.
Their numbers,
not ours. We requested 5 years of sick leave. Right. And when we narrowed that data down, removing FMLA usage for things like surgeries and pregnancies, what we found was secretaries missed on average over the last 5 years 5.1 days. Teachers on average over the last 5 years missed 5.8 days, and then service workers on average over the last 5 years missed 7 days.
So not abuse.
Not even close to abuse.
So I wonder why they're doing this. I wonder why they just refuse to let us use our sick leave. Is it just power and control?
I think so.
I wonder how many days they take.
Well, we'll be requesting that information as well. I think the other piece of the sick leave, and just 2 more seconds, indulge me just for 2 more seconds. The other piece is our contracts allow the district to discipline folks if they're abusing their sick leave, right?
Yes.
And they do over and over again.
Yes.
We see them every board meeting.
Yes.
So policy's crazy. It's got to stop, and we're going to keep pushing back on it. What else? Grievances, ULPs.
So contract violations come up usually in the past, because I've been grievance chair before I was president. You could work things out. You could talk things out. You could resolve a lot of them before they were ever actually become a grievance. Now we have so many. I mean, what do you think we had before? Like maybe 2 a year or so? Probably,
because usually I would go to those board meetings, and I was maybe going to 1 or 2 board meetings a year. And now I go every month.
Yes.
Yeah. Not that I don't want to see you, but.
Likewise. We've also, so again, I've been there 24 years. I really didn't understand the process for even filing a ULP. I've heard people talk about them. I knew what it was, but I've had to learn. Because we've had our labor rights violated, and again, so many contractual rights, so many terminations that were unfair. And so we have done our best to hold the line and to enforce the contract for our membership. It's a tremendous amount of work, a lot of legal expenses and consultations, and Ray is super helpful with that. But a lot of this is just, to me, picking fights where there shouldn't be.
Right. Yeah. When you have a good relationship, you don't have these problems.
No.
So just for everyone, and I know you and I talk about this all the time, Wendy, and I've said this in front of the board and their bargaining team over and over and over again. I work with 17 other local unions and 17 other school districts. And I want to be crystal clear here. Cahokia, what is happening in your schools is not normal. The things we're talking about here, it's not normal. It's not happening in other districts. The political hires, the creating of positions and giving friends jobs at a much higher rate than the union rate. The political donations that employees are making to individuals, it is not normal. I don't know how else to say that, and I'm going to say it again. It is not normal, and politics need to be out of the school system. That's the only way this is really going to work for the kids in Cahokia.
Well, and I think this all started about bargaining, but it's become so much more because it's not okay. What's happening is not okay. And we needed sort of a format where we could talk about this and share what we know.
Yeah, and that's why we chose this format, because we needed a little more time than a simple Facebook post or a normal press conference. We needed some time where we could look at documents, talk through issues in a 30 to 45-minute format. Let's talk about, negotiations for a little bit.
Sure.
Probably most of our members know how negotiations go, but let's back up a little bit and give a much broader view of what the negotiation process looks like for people that might be listening that don't really understand it.
I think you do a better job of describing that, right? So you start with proposals, right? Both
Right.
sides meet. They're long
Right.
meetings.
Long meetings. Both sides make proposals, and those proposals are based on things that you want to see in a contract or you want to remove from a contract.
Mhm.
You have lots of good discussion, typically, around issues. You might even collaborate on issues in negotiations. You make counter proposals to proposals. You get to tentative agreements, which mean you agree on an issue, you put it in writing, and then you go through your issues until you ultimately have a full agreement on all the issues: salary, benefits, working conditions, all those things. But that's not the experience we're seeing here.
Right. So you have all of these, you have a varied bunch of experiences. I have Cahokia experiences. And in Cahokia, usually it takes us forever to reach an agreement, not this long, of course, but we could spend the whole summer arguing about, a couple articles in a contract or whatever. But I've never seen anything like this. From the very beginning, we've kind of had our hand forced into how we're structuring this. It's moving very slowly, not because we wanted to, but it's been such a waste of time in some respects. Like we agreed to do this because they really wanted to bargain them separately, didn't they?
Yeah. Typically, in Cahokia, we've bargained all three contracts together. The superintendent has been very adamant that he wants to bargain separately. And our sessions, like I said, I explained the process. In other places, meetings can take on a minimum 3 hours, 6-10 hours, depending on how far along you are in the process, each meeting. In Cahokia, what is happening now is we meet. If it's our turn to give them a proposal, we give them our proposal, we go through it, they say thank you very much, and then they leave. If they give us a proposal, we listen, we say, give us about a half hour, 45 minutes to go through the proposal, and we'll get back to you. And they say, nope, we're going to leave. We'll see you at the next meeting. We've asked to combine meetings. They don't want to do that. We've asked to make multiple steps back and forth proposals. They don't want to do that. So the conclusion I've come to, and I think you've come to the same conclusion, is they want to draw this process out. Doesn't make sense. But today we bargained and we scheduled meetings through Thanksgiving. So I'm assuming the superintendent plans to be bargaining till Thanksgiving.
Do we have a sound effect graphic for this one? The district.
So bargaining team for the district, just a side note, every once in a while they have a board member show up or two, but this is the main bargaining team. So your superintendent, Curtis McCall Jr., Stephanie Belt, who director of non-certified personnel. And she's also kind of called loosely the HR person in the district. And from my perspective, Stephanie Belt, in the job that she does, is probably one of the most anti-union HR people that I deal with. Just the way she deals with things, it's always a gotcha kind of thing.
Yes.
The number 2, Deputy Superintendent Tanya Mitchell, very rarely ever says a word in bargaining. Not sure why she's there. Ed Hightower, consultant for the district. He owns a company, EEH Consulting.
He does.
Former superintendent of Edwardsville. I was told that the Superintendent McCall, is being mentored by Ed Hightower.
Very interesting.
It is very interesting. And we'll talk about Ed in a future show. Can't wait for that one. And then their attorney, Barney Mundorf, who I work with in a bunch of other districts. So that is their bargaining team. Our bargaining team, you and me, obviously. You want to just kind of...
So our service workers president is Demetrius Hurd. A lot of you guys know him as BAM. He's at the table when we talk about service workers. And Stephanie Spizak is the person bargaining with us for the secretaries. And then we have lots of other people that we bring in to help inform the process and to weigh in.
Yeah, we got a great team.
We do.
Team is fun, and they're doing a great job. So in our next episode, we're gonna take a deep dive into bargaining. We're actually gonna share initial proposals from both sides. But the union's first proposal, which had about 8 proposals, very, very minimalistic proposal approach.
Modest.
Yeah, very modest. And then we're going to show the district's initial proposals, which look like a teacher read pen and I got an F. That's what it looks like.
It does, really.
Yeah, it does. So that is our next episode. When's the next board meeting, Wendy?
Monday, October the 6th at 6:30.
Okay. We are currently it's scheduled for the board building.
Yes.
But we are going to send a letter demanding that the meeting be moved to a facility that can hold all of our members that we're going to bring to the board meeting and any community members that want to come.
Yes. We really want the community to come.
Yeah, for sure. They should have a say in what's going on. And that's part of the reason we're doing this podcast, is to inform.
Engage them. We want parents engaged. We have powerful parents in the community that should be asking lots of questions.
That's a fact. We have another bargaining session on Thursday. Is that with the secretaries again?
Yes.
Secretaries on Thursday.
That's going to be here.
That's going to be at our IFT office. You members, we need you here. We're doing a lot on social media.
Yes.
It's crazy. You and I kind of giggle about the amount of shares that we've had. We've had over 500,000 views in the last week and a half.
It's crazy.
It is unreal, the engagement that we're getting on social media. So how can you help? You can help by sharing everything that we put out. You can help by liking, making comments, because that all drives the views and likes up. And in order for us to get a fair contract, we're going to have to do things differently. As you see, we're doing CFT Live for all our CFT Nationers.
Yeah.
And we just got to do things different. So
we want things to change in Cahokia. We know there's a lot of other people that feel the same that we do.
Yeah, for sure. We long term, we don't just want a contract. No. We want a contract, and we want to drive change. We want things to change, not only for teachers and staff, But really what we want is change for students.
Yeah.
Because the way things are going now, it's not good.
And we think that in our area, there's just not a bunch of people who also are going to support all this union busting.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. And we're having meetings and reaching out to folks, trying to get people on board. So one, I want to thank Kevin, for his hard work in helping us put this together. I want to thank you for being awesome.
Well, thank you. You're awesome too. He put all this together, even the sign.
So definitely follow us, like, comment. It means so much. You have no idea the reach that we're getting. We're gonna do one show a week, maybe two at times. Tune in. I know this was a surprise show. We kind of wanted it to be that. In the future, we're gonna advertise a few days out when we're going live. We got a nice little graphic for that, and we'll advertise and we'll kind of tease the topic of the day.
Yes.
Next show is bargaining. Any last words?
I don't think so. I'm just really happy that we did this. I can't wait for the next one.
Superintendent McCall, we're coming. Buckle up, Junior.